Hello there. It is midday in Cairo, 5 a.m. in Washington. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Zain, Verjee. You're watching World One live from London.
Troops in riot gear, armed with automatic weapons. A daunting sight for protesters converging on Cairo's Tahrir Square. These are pictures that we've been seeing earlier on this Friday. It says it's trying to broker a smooth transition to a new government in Egypt. The New York Times says that plan would involve President Mubarak immediately resigning, getting underway just about now with the march set to begin shortly afterwards. CNN's Ivan Watson is in Cairo and he brings us the very latest. Ivan.
Monita, Friday is the Muslim holy day, a day.
All right, we seem to have some technical issues there with Ivan Watson, but just reiterating what he has been saying, that there are lots of people gathering right now in Tahrir Square. It is Friday prayers right now. It is a holy day in Egypt, and Friday prayers are underway. He talked about Egypt's Grand Mufti, who on state television was calling on all people from all different grounds and affiliations to maintain some semblance of calm. There is a group of supporters, Mubarak supporters, who are gathering at another mosque in the Egyptian capital. They're calling this the Day of Loyalty. And as you know, as we've been reporting, today is being dubbed as the day of departure by anti-Mubarak demonstrators who have been out on the streets in full force for the past week, and more than a week or so. They are calling this day the Day of Departure, some even calling it Friday of Farewell. Well, events in Egypt have got leaders across the Middle East scrambling to head off similar displays of popular anger, facing a fourth day of protest on Friday. It seemed Queensland had weathered the storm without losing any lives, but Australian authorities are now saying a man's body has been found, a victim of tropical cyclone Yasi. The Category 5 storm ripped across the north of the state on Thursday. We want to get the very latest now for actually what's going on in Australia. Meteorologist Ivan Cabrera joins us now live from the CNN World Weather Center with that. Ivan.
Good to see you, Monita. Indeed, this was a monster of a storm. In fact, to put it in perspective here, if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, it's got off to a messy start there, Ivan. Thank you very much.
You're watching World One live from London.
The violent unrest in Egypt is doing major harm to the country's economy.
And it's the exodus of foreign tourists that...
Well, tourism is a key part of Egypt's economy. It generates more than 11% of its gross domestic product and employs about 1 in 10 Egyptian workers. The country earned nearly $12 billion from tourism last year. In 2009, more than 12 million people visited the country for holidays. Well, for Egyptians, especially in Cairo, daily life has almost ground to a halt, but the central bank is trying to get things back to normal. Officials say banks will reopen on Sunday. That is the first day back to work. Different scene over the last few days where journalists trying to cover the uprising from the front lines have been taking a beating. Literally, dozens of reporters, including several of our CNN colleagues, have been assaulted, detained, and threatened. The violence against journalists and others prompted this statement today from U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Now, that was a statement from Hillary Clinton on Thursday. Now let's get some more perspective on what's actually been going on. Anderson Cooper spoke with Fawad Ajami at the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies. Professor Ajami said that over the previous 24 hours, things had taken a very ominous turn. Now let's take a bit of a pause and talk about a huge weekend of sport ahead of us, from the NFL to international rugby. Well, let's focus on basketball court for starters. Alex Thomas is here to tell us about the pick on Thursday night's NBA action.
Yeah, it's no point always looking forward if you've got something good to look back at, and sport's always interesting when it's the best against the best. So that was all the NBA action, Monita. Just the start of a sports-packed weekend.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be insane. All right, Alex, thank you very much. Well, you've got to take a look at this package coming up. American football fans are counting down to the highlight of the NFL season. The Pittsburgh Steelers meet the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 45. But as Jeannie Most reports, for many viewers, the real highlight is what goes on during the breaks in all the action.
World One live from London, I'm Zain, Verjee.
I'm Monita Rajpal. We thank you for joining us. We want to give you another look at Tahrir Square.
They're conducting Friday prayers. You're watching World One right here on CNN.